Hi everyone, this is me Caverntwo and welcome to the last video of 2018. In this video I'm going to show you how you can 3D print some vector graphics. Sounds simple? Well, it actually is, sort of. In detail we are going to go from this logo to this print. And I'm going to focus on the model creation more than on the printing itself this time. You can use this technique for many different vector graphics including logos, and well, I actually also use the logo. Most of the tutorial will be on the PC again, as we are going to use Tinkercad for 3D modeling, Inkscape for vector graphic conversion, Cura for slicing, and some text editor to, well, edit some stuff. As a side note, this is the logo of BioColonies, an upcoming real-time strategy game developed by a small team here in Caverntwo, including me. If you're interested in the game and its development, make sure to check out the links down in the video description and make sure to follow us on our social media. We are still very new and appreciate every new fan. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so here I am at the PC, and to be able to do what we are going to do, you need to have a vector graphic. It's important to have a real vector graphic, not just some pixelated stuff saved as a vector graphic. The one I have here is a vector graphic, so I'm going to open it with Inkscape real quick to show you. I normally use Affinity Designer, not Inkscape. So basically this is a vector graphic. In the object view you can basically see its groups and paths. And what I'm going to do here is first simplify the whole stuff by deleting, in my case, the outer container nobody needs, and also the background, nobody needs this one as well. And here you can see I have an outer group, an inner group, and then groups with the individual parts. Basically, I want to have the model exported in a way so that it can be used for a dual extrusion machine. You know, my Init 8 is a dual extrusion machine, and I plan to print the outer parts, which are now darker blue, with a darker color than the inner parts, which should be printed in a light blue. If you don't have a dual extrusion machine, it's not a problem at all. You can always use layer-based color changes. It's not very hard, and I already did a video showing you how. What I'm going to do now is the very unconventional approach. I want to start off with the darker parts, so I'm going to just delete the stuff that is not dark. Alright, here we have just the borders, and you click here, save a copy. No, it's border. It's important to save it as a plain SVG file. And before you go on and do the same thing with the inner part, open Tinkercad. I have already prepared a model here. Click import, choose a file, and try out whether it works. If you get a size error, just like 200 by 200 is what we're going to use it. Import, it will probably error now, and I will show you why. As you can see, there's an error with basically no information at all. Very helpful. But I found out the cause of the error, and you need to open the exported file with a text editor. In my case, I'm just using Visual Studio Code. And the thing that's basically wrongly interpreted is the height and the width definition here. Tinkercad doesn't know what 100% is. What we're going to do here is just copying the values from the view box. Be aware, this has to be the attributes of the outermost SVG element. Just going to here, 1024 pixel, copy this one, and save the file with Ctrl S. Now let's try again. Perfect. Now let's do the same with the inner parts. Just click Ctrl C here until we get to the other parts. I will not explain it in detail and fast forward. Alright, here I'm importing the second part, and make sure that you import them with the same sizes. Like I've chosen 200 as the dimensions before, and also make sure that you selected the artboard for both of them, because as you can see, if I choose art, it will basically remove the margin outside, which is something we do not want because then the parts are inconsistent. So 200 here, both have artboard selected, and import. There we go. As you can see, they fit perfectly together. So what we do now is get the inner one too high, the other one 4 high. It's basically the settings I used last time. And now select both with box select, and now click the shift key to move them. And basically if you have the shift key selected while dragging it, well, resizes it uniformly. So we are already finished here, but we want to have some base that basically connects all of the parts. So just put in here a small cube, make it 0.5 millimeters tall. And there's a reason why I make it 0.5 millimeters tall, which I will explain later when we get into Cura. Well, it's good enough. And let's hide it again. Select the other two, offset them by 0.5 and show them again. Alright, with the dual extrusion machine we can print 2 colors at once, but not 3. And I want to have the base black, the outer part here with the darker blue and the inner part with the lighter blue. So basically let's group the red part with the light blue one. Here clicking the group button. They are light blue. And the other one are then darker blue, but it doesn't matter here. Now it's time to export the models. And this is something that you need to pay attention to. We have 2 parts. Select one of those, duplicate it, make it a whole, then hold the shift key, click the other model and then group them together. So what we achieved now is basically if you hide the inner part, you can see there is, the outer part is like a mold for the inner one here. So there are 2 separate models now and there is no part where both models are at the same space. So this shouldn't be any problem for printing later on. So now we click here export and I'm going to save it here, calling it again quarter, and then clicking the other one without moving any of those, clicking export and now calling inner. Well, I'm very creative with my names. Alright, here we are in Cura and basically let's click the open file dialog and import both parts. I want to print the base with the right extruder, in this case the green one, and the other one is the blue one. That's good. So basically we use both materials here. What we do now is select both by clicking one, holding the shift key down and clicking the other one, right click and select the merge. Now be aware that the model is moved also magically along the Z-axis, so reset them to 0, all of them. And there you go, it looks already as if they are properly merged. If they do not merge, like shown here, and basically are still separated, you need to re-export them from here. Basically just redo all exporting steps and make sure not to move any part, because if you move them, you lost. Alright, here is the slicing. Since the latest version, you need to hit the prepare button. Let's quickly go through the layer view here. And I want to have the base, basically the first 2 layers, printed in black. And after that, I want to switch to the light blue for the green extruder. What the printer needs to have enabled to be able to do this is the advanced pause feature and the filament change commands. Basically, you just add an M600 and the printer will understand. I have made dedicated videos about how to set up the filament sensor, where I explained how all of this works, and also how you can do multicolor prints with a single extruder machine. It's basically the same thing I use here. Click here to save the file. Do not save it directly to the SD card. You could if you want, but I do not want. Basically, I just call it logo.gcode on the desktop. Now let's go to the desktop, right click, open it with Visual Studio Code again, or your text editor. And as you can see how Cura works, it exports the current layer as a comment. Just copy it, hit Ctrl F, and we want to have the filament changed by the 3rd layer. So we need to search for layer 2. And here, insert the M600 argument. Basically this means color change. And you will see it later in action. Save the changes with Ctrl S and you are ready to go. I have already the old logo here. Basically copy it over here and make sure to eject. With the model saved on this SD card, let's go over to the ANET A8 and start the print. The print is starting out pretty nicely and I use 2 black layers at the bottom to keep all parts of the logo together. After 2 layers, the M600 triggers and it's time to change the color to the light blue. Now that the base is finished, the logo is being printed. You can see how nicely both blue filaments get painted onto the black surface. Furthermore, the halfway translucent darker blue looks almost black here. And here I stopped recording, and as you can see, the outcome is pretty decent. But I should have used probably a different darker blue, because this one looks almost black if there is not enough illumination around. But other than that, it came out pretty nicely. There's not a single error, and I call this model a success. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the result. Actually, this print was more or less a proof of concept. Luckily it worked out for me. As always, if you have any questions or any problems, make sure to comment down below. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope that you liked this video. As stated, this is the last video of 2018, so Happy New Year to everyone. And you're going to see me again in 2019, pretty soon. So thanks a lot for watching. See ya.